Germination. In today's lecture, we will discuss about germination and its various types. Germination refers to the process by which an organism grows from a seed or a spore. Most common form of germination includes that when a seed sprouts to form a seedling or a sporling is formed from a spore. Thus, germination occurs primarily in plants and in fungal species. In case of plants, germination is basically referred to as rupturing of testa and emergence of plumule. Testa is basically the seed coat. When this seed coat ruptures and the plumule arises from that seed coat, then this process is basically known as germination. There are three main types of germination in plants: hypogeal germination, epigel germination, and viviparous germination. In hypogeal germination, as the name indicates, hypo means under the soil surface or under the something. So, in this kind of germination, the cotyledons do not come out of the soil surface. In such case, epicotyle means embryonic axis between plumule and cotyledon that elongates, pushing the plumules out of the soil. All monocots show hypogeal germination, and among dicots, grams, peas, groundnuts are most common examples which show hypogeal germination. In monocots, radicle and plumules comes out by pyracing, by rupturing, or by breaking the coleorhiza and coleoptile respectively. Then plumule grows upward and first leaves come out on the surface. This is an example as indicate that this is seed, and then plumule is arising and hypocotyle is arising, and from that this is the process. This is the example of dicots, while in case of monocots this is the example for the formation of plumule. Then adventitious roots are forming, and as a result shoots are arising above the soil surface. Second type of germination is epigel germination. Epi means above the surface. In this case, the cotyledons are brought above the soil surface to elongation of the hypocotyle. For example, in cotton, papaya, and onion, flat greens, like leaf-like cotyledons can be seen in the young seedlings. Here, the cotyledons, besides food storage, also performs this function, and this results in the formation of cotyledons. Beside food storage also performs photosynthesis till the seedling becomes independent. In some other plants like beans, cotyledons being thick do not become leaf-like. They shrivel and fall off after their food reserves are consumed by the seedlings. This is the example of epigel germination, in which you can see that the seed, that cotyledon is arising above the soil surface, and this is growing with the growing seedling, and as a result after that these will fall off, and another plumule and full grown plant or shoots have been seen. In case of viviparous germination, vivipary is the phenomena of giving birth to young ones in advanced stage of development. It mainly occurs in mammals and in mangrove plants. Why in mangrove plants? Because mangrove plants, you all know that they are mostly present in in the salty areas or in marshes, and because of that marshy conditions, plants or seeds cannot survive or they cannot germinate. So in this case, in mangrove plants, uh, the seeds cannot germinate on the ground because of excessive salt content and lack of oxygen in marshy habitat. In such plant, dormancy is absent. Why dormancy is absent? Because while the embryo is present within the seed that continues to grow while it is attached with the parent plant or it is present within the fruit. Then, after growing, hypocotyl when elongates and pushes the radicle out of the seed and fruit, then growth continues until the radicle becomes several centimeters long. Then seedling becomes heavy. As a result, it breaks its connection with the fruit and falls off on the salty, rich, muddy water in a position that plumule remains outside saltish water and of the radicle gets fixed in the mud. This protects the plumule and radically quickly forms new roots and establish the seedlings as a new plant. Here, this is the example of the viviparous germination, in which germination starts when it is actually attached with the parent plant. Thank you, students.